Hey guys, this is going to be a review of the last episode of Rain called In a Clearing, and I reviewed the week before's episode over on my blog, so there's no video. There will be a link to my blog in the description if you want to go read it there. Obviously, something huge happened in this episode in that Francis died, and it's really hard not to just immediately launch into talking about that because that kind of overshadowed everything else in this episode. But since I reviewed the last episode on my blog, I wrote about this and I didn't talk about it in a video, but obviously in the last episode Francis died and then was brought back to life, and Mary's mother died as a result, which now she died for nothing. Because of all that, I really did think that they seemed to be diverging from history and we're going to actually keep Francis alive. But then at the very beginning of this episode, I just gradually started to realize that he was definitely going to die in that episode. There was just this feeling of doom almost in the episode, and so I knew it was coming before it happened, and I wasn't really surprised by the time the death scene came around. And I feel that kind of took some of the emotions I should have been feeling from me, because he had died already and then come back to life, and then the fact that I knew it was coming at the beginning of this episode, instead of shocking me like it possibly would have if I hadn't had that feeling because he'd come back to life. Instead, I felt like I had been so prepared for it that I didn't have much of an emotional reaction. I'm sad that Francis is dead on the show, but I didn't cry during the scene. I feel I cried a little bit during last week's episode when he died and came back to life, but I didn't cry at all in this episode. So I don't know why, if there's a reason for that, beyond the fact that I just knew it was coming and was prepared for it, but I didn't. I also mentioned in that post how I thought it would have been cool if they'd killed him off, because it would have been interesting to see what they did with the show then, and I still think that. So I'm still excited to see what they do now that he's dead. I don't know if Mary's going to stay in France. Is she going to leave France? Is she going to go back to Scotland? I've said countless times that I really think it would be awesome if we got to see Scotland. So I'm excited for all of that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. And I think that's another reason why I'm not as emotional about Francis dying as I could be, because I'm just so excited to see what the show does now that he's dead. If Mary's going to be in France for a while longer, or if she's going to leave to Scotland, what happens to her ladies if she goes back to Scotland, because Lola's married to a French noble and everything. I have so many questions, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the show takes things, what they do from here on out. I thought Adelaide Kane's acting after Francis's death though was great, excellent. I really loved those scenes. And also Nostradamus came back in this episode, which was unexpected, and I wonder if he's going to stick around. But I thought that was weird and kind of random that he just popped up now of all times. So cannot forget to mention, I really appreciated the stuff with Catherine and Mary in this episode, because I think it really showed that Catherine does care about Mary, and that's always kind of been there in this thing where Catherine cares, but she doesn't want to show it, and so she doesn't show it a lot of the time, but really she does care about Mary. And so I really appreciated that in the scene after Francis died, when Mary's distraught, but Catherine's she's focused on Mary. She's not even focused on Francis's body like Mary is. Catherine just focuses on Mary instead, and I really loved that. I loved that was probably my favorite bit of the entire episode, was just the stuff with Catherine and Mary that kind of showed that Catherine did care for Mary. I'm just all around really excited to see what the show does now. Obviously there's all this stuff with Elizabeth going on, but I'm really excited to see what happens with Mary, and if she stays in France or goes to Scotland, and if she goes to Scotland, if anyone goes to Scotland with her, because her ladies have all established themselves in France basically, or they're already gone. So I think that is all, and I will see you guys later. Bye.